So what is your legacy? Do you have to build a business that has a major impact on an industry to create a legacy? Do you have to have a large family that's going to last for generations and generations to come to build a legacy? Do you have to have accolades and awards and be a legend in the eyes of the world in order to leave a legacy? I submit to you that a legacy is the momentum that you leave behind to inspire and empower others. A legacy is built around the actions that you take in the world and the wisdom that you're able to draw from those experiences. A legacy is built out of something that everyone in this life has, a story. Your story. Your story is 100% unique. No one has done exactly what you've done. No one has touched the lives that you've touched in just the way that you have. Your story is your legacy. Hi, I'm Brian, owner and lead producer for Moment in Time Legacy Documentaries. So why am I talking about legacies? Why is the idea of building a legacy so important to me? The reason is my father. You see, Dad hasn't had an easy life, that much I knew. Mom and Dad split up before my first birthday. Fortunately, my dad and I were able to become close in adulthood. My father worked as a truck driver for 20 years to pay child support for me and also managed to put himself through college and walk with a Bachelor of Fine Arts, the first ever in his family to receive a college degree. After I turned 18, he quit driving and reinvented himself as a photographer. He did that for over a decade before he retired and went into business taking photos for himself. He founded a company named Moment in Time Portraits. Meanwhile, in the last few years, I had been building my marketing firm, Manifest Creative Studios, building websites, producing commercials, building channels on YouTube for clients. But at the time, I didn't have any of my own gear. I was still hiring cinematographers with their camera and their gear, doing the writing beforehand and the editing afterward myself. One day, I received a call from my dad. He wanted me to start looking for a storage unit in my area. Okay, Dad, sure, but why? My dad's not the type to waste words or beat around the bush. Well, Brian, Carol and I, that's his wife, Carol. He said, Carol and I are moving up to a retirement community near Sacramento in a few months, but I'm gonna be closing Moment in Time and I want you to have all of my equipment. I said, wow, Dad, thanks, that's huge, but why all of this all of a sudden? He paused for a few seconds. Then his reply, well, I have prostate cancer. There was a moment of pregnant silence as what my father's words meant dropped my heart into my stomach. The words echoed in my head. My dad has cancer. 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 Then it slowly dawned on me that my father was looking at the prospect of his own death, and he wanted to pass his hard-earned legacy to me. I mean, I was extremely grateful to be receiving the expensive equipment, lights, cameras, backgrounds from his photography business, and I was honored in his belief in me that he would choose to pass these things down to me instead of selling them off. But in the weeks that followed, I contemplated how little I actually knew about my dad's early life, his origins, his struggles, his hard-earned wisdom. I thought about how I've never met my paternal grandfather because he died when my dad was young. I wondered, how young was my dad when his dad died? How did my grandfather die? What was his job? What kind of a man was he? I began to think of my own as yet unborn children. For the first time in my life, I was faced with the possibility that by the time I have children, my dad might not be around for them to meet. Then it hit me. I have all of these nice cameras now and plenty of experience producing high quality content. Why not interview my dad, document his life and his experience and his wisdom to share with my kids so they won't have to guess at what my dad was like? So I did it. Next Thanksgiving, I took a flight up to their retirement community and spent about 3 hours talking to my dad about his childhood, his time in the Marines during Vietnam, his early careers, all of his struggles and triumphs. It wasn't until I started editing the footage that I realized what I had done. I made a Dadumentary, a custom video memoir for my dad to tell his story in his own words that will not only allow his story and all of his wisdom to live on, but capture the warmth of his voice, the glint in his eye when he talks about how much he loves his wife, all his idiosyncrasies, the way he laughs. You see, I couldn't do anything about the cancer. I don't have the power to keep my dad alive for as long as I want, but what I could do was preserve his memory while he's still with me. I could document and preserve my dad's legacy to become a part of my own legacy. Now, I want to offer my services to other families to capture and preserve their legacy. In honor of my dad, who's still with us by the way, I've named this venture Moment in Time Legacy Documentaries. I will work with you to create and capture your story, your legacy in full HD video, custom legacy documentary as a video memoir of the life and the wisdom for you and your loved one. So visit our website, get your free guide about how you can get started making your custom video legacy documentary today. I'll help you through the process, come down and shoot it for you and edit it. We'll make you look great and you'll have this to pass down to your kids and your kids' 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 kids forever and ever.